I am from Kentucky, though, so hey. Who's heard of PTA Global? Okay. Love PTA Global. Okay. It changed my world, actually. Haley and Rodney Korn and all those guys, Ian O'Dwyer, all of those people, okay? And they came up with this quote, meet the client where they need to be met. When I first started in this business, I thought, I am certified, I know everything, and you as my client, by God, you're going to do what I tell you to do. Because my program is the best. Well, I may be here and they may be here. So obviously there's a differential. So I need to meet that person where they need to be met. I need to adapt. I need to be a chameleon. I need to go to their level. Or in some cases, I have to go up to their level. So I need to be who they need me to be. So we talk about goals. Goals is important. We have to obviously understand what we're doing during this process. So whose goal is it? Is it the client? Is it the trainer? One of the things that I'll tell every client when they list goals is these are now mine too. I take ownership over the goal. All clients have individual goals. So someone may sit down with me, maybe the same weight, whatever, but they may have different goals. So obviously, as a trainer, I'm trying to own their goals. So I ask a series of questions. And those that are familiar with PTA Global, this would be your program design questionnaire. And I'll write on a piece of paper goals, personality, motivation, skill level, and I'll basically ask them a battery of questions. The first question that I'll ask them are, what are your expectations of today? So this is the very first time that I'm meeting with them. I want to know what their expectations of this next hour that they're going to spend with me. There may not be an expectation. There may be a vast expectation. Either way, I want to meet and exceed what that expectation is. I want to give them an experience. I don't want them to have a negative feeling about the process that we're about ready to undertake. And then I'm going to ask them about goals. So what outcomes are you wanting and what outcomes are you expecting from this program and this time that you're going to spend with me? So I'm giving them the ball and I'm allowing them to run with it. Exercise preference. Their goal is your goal. Your favorite exercise may not be theirs. And this is one thing that I love to stress to trainers, that there's 1,000 different ways for us to get someone results. They may not like burpees. Don't do burpees. They may not like clean and jerks. Don't do clean and jerks. So, obviously, when you're going through this process, if they have an experience with exercise, there may be negative connotations with certain exercises that they don't like. So again, I hit on that. Personality plays a big role in how I design programs. You know, we've talked a lot about programs the first day here and how they really impact what the client is. So I'll ask them a series of questions. For your workouts to be a success, do you find it that you need to be continually challenged or that you need structure? So again, I'm giving them, empowering them, I'm giving them a little rope for them to tell me, okay, this is how I want my program to be. I need structure or I need to be challenged. And obviously, I'm going to base their program accordingly. I also ask about stress. Everybody's stressed. So when you need to reduce stress, do you pick activities that allow you to relax or ones that allow you to blow off steam? Again, if I've got a 6 o'clock client that just got off work at 5 o'clock, they come straight to work out with me. Their job is extremely stressful, and they enjoy things that are relaxing. Then I probably need to adjust their program accordingly, because that is their personality. That's what's indicative. That's what they enjoy. If they love to have activities that allow them to blow off steam, great. Let's box. Let's pretend my hands are your boss's head. So again, I'm allowing them, I'm asking them their opinion on how I should make this program for them. They have a part. It's just not me as the fitness expert. I'm allowing them to have a piece in how this program is going to go. And then number 3, do you enjoy exercise more as it involves a routine that you can adhere to or one that is offering variety? So based upon the answers to these questions, I get to come up with a program that is indicative to their personality. And this is where a lot of times trainers go wrong, is that we think, okay, we know best, this is what's going to work. Perfect example. I train a politician that is a type A personality. He does not want to go outside the framework. If I introduced a Bosu ball exercise to him, he would pick it up and throw it at me. He likes to do push, pull. That's what he likes to do. So I make him happy by introducing those exercises into his program. Now every once in a while I'll get a little twisting and rotation in there. We'll use some TRX. We'll use the rip trainer. But for the most part, that's what he enjoys. He still gets results. That's his program. So I'm allowing and empowering him to really give me feedback on how he wants his program to go. Now, obviously, there's a fine line there, but I like my clients to have some say in what we do. Level. Most of our clients are going to sit 8 to 10 hours a day. Some of them don't, some of them do. So I like to know what the level of stress that their job causes them. So on a scale of 1 to 10, does your job cause you mental stress? Most of the time, that's going to be somewhere around a 7 to 8. Are there any repetitive movements that you perform every day? I have a girl that works at UPS. She comes in and she's got bruises everywhere. So I have to obviously know that what have you been doing all day? Because again, that's going to play into the program that we're doing. The most important part is the motivation. So I've gone through what are your goals. I've kind of decided what the personality piece is. I know what the level is. So now I need to know what's the motivation behind the goal. So I'll go through and I'll repeat, okay, you want to lose 50 pounds, you want to tone your arms. Why is that so important to you? Again, that's where we start to dig deeper. Then I'll ask them a question that oftentimes they don't want to answer. Is if you stayed the same, or you even regressed, what are the consequences that you may come to? And the answer to that question, sometimes that brings a tear to their eyes. And it could be with anybody. Well, then obviously my self-esteem is lower, etc. So then I'll flip it back on them. I say, when we finally get to this point where you want to be, how is your life going to be different? That's when they start to pop up. They start to think. They're smiling. I'm going to have more self-esteem. I'm going to be more confident. It's never about, I'm going to have more dates. I'm going to have more sex. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's always an emotion, every time. Never fails. It's always falling back to confidence and self-esteem. And then last but not least, I asked them, well, what their expectations of me. Some have worked with a trainer before and some haven't. But I want to know what the expectations of me are going to be in their program. I'm allowing them to give me a job description. If it's to hold them accountable, if it's to keep them motivated, it's to call them every day, it's to text them, it's to send workouts, it's to pat them on the rear end when they do good. What is it? And then obviously, I have to deliver based upon what their expectation is. People appreciate that because this is so intimidating of an environment. And I don't know, obviously, in the picture, in the little thing, you know, I've got my shirt off, I got tattoos all the way down, I got a bald head. To sit down in front of me and for me to ask you these questions sometimes can be intimidating. So I want to know what their expectations of me is going to be. I want to reduce the amount of, fear or, negative thoughts. I like this cartoon. Empathy. This world would be a lot better if everyone had more empathy. So what's the difference between empathy and sympathy? Sympathy is obviously feeling sorry for somebody. Empathy is being able to put yourself in their shoes. I've never been 300 pounds. I've never been a client. I don't know what they feel like. So I have to put myself in their shoes. I have to get a feel for who they are in order for me to effectively train them and change their life. So when you're going through this process and you sit down with them, just like in dating, you have to get a feel for them. So asking questions usually works best. Past behaviors are predictive of future behaviors. A lot of people will come to me and say, well, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried that, it didn't work. They use it as a negative. I use it as a positive. You're trying. You're doing something. It just hasn't worked yet. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you continue down this road of predicting or keeping up with the same past behaviors, your future behaviors will be the same. We don't fix people. There is no fixing people. Who they are is who they are. And I don't like really using the word change because I don't feel like I change people either. I feel like I improve people. So through this motivation and this inspiration, we're obviously trying to improve who they are because this exercise world improves everything. So we can't demand it. You can't be like Jillian Michaels and stomp your feet and cuss and scream and throw things and expect someone to change. We have to inspire it. I love this quote. I have a client that corrects me every time that I say I have to do something. So you don't have to do anything. You get to do something. This is the perfect quote of what I want my clients to say to me. I get to train with you today. I don't have to train with you. When you get to that point as a trainer, obviously you have succeeded. So I want you all to remember that, and this for to be the goal of every client that we interact with, is for them to be able to say to us, I get to train with you today, versus getting to have to train with you today. I blew through that quickly. This is some suggested reading, some cited work. A lot of this is psychology stuff. The emotional intelligence book, the guy that created it, Daniel Goleman. And then there's some other cited work in here that I use for research purposes, because obviously there's a lot of people out there that want to know the facts. Before I get off this stage, in 10 years in doing this, I have learned a lot about people, but I've also learned a lot about myself. And that being a trainer has improved me, because I've learned how to deal with people. I've learned how to not fix people, not change people, improve people. Not only from a dealing with client aspect, but also from educating trainers. And then how important our jobs actually are, and how misunderstood our profession actually is. To me, there is no other profession that I can think of that you get to wear sneakers, you get to wear workout pants, and that you can have such a dramatic difference in someone's life. And I owe everything that I have in this world to personal training and to fitness. And that I'm very privileged that I'm allowed to come and speak on a stage to a group of trainers and people that I've never met to talk about fitness. So I want to thank you guys for obviously coming here today. I knew I blew through that really quickly. That's the way that I do. I talk fast. I'm from Kentucky. I can't help it. Some more information about me. My website is allthingsthroughfitness.com. Tattooed on my chest right here says All Things Through Fitness. It's a kettlebell. And underneath it says, fear nothing, achieve everything. And then on the other side, it says train, motivate, inspire. I truly believe this, so much so that I got it tattooed on my chest. It's no gimmicks. No gimmicks here, okay? This is truly what I believe. And I believe that through things like this, we can really make an impact on this industry. Because this industry needs a change. This industry needs trainers that can do these things. And you guys are obviously part of it, and I'm glad to be here. So thank you very much.